Told you not to quit.
No, did I get you a few times?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That means you screwed up.
This is how you run the play. You take a goddamn whistle, throw it back, and then grab somebody's helmet. Now here's how the play goes. Bang!
No, you don't run around him. You run over him.
Yeah. The hole's in, but you go there.
You sure you're not making this up, Buckshot?
I got a good memory, you know.
Yeah, but all the booze you're putting away destroys those neurons up there.
No.
Your alcohol is bad for you.
Just a beer, that's all. You know.
Oh, okay. Hey, where the hell's your brother?
No, I called him. Told him he had to come down here.
Jesus Christ, he'd make my day if I saw him. No, that's all right. No, we were hoping he would come.
Yeah.
But he was something else. He was, there's no one like him.
There still isn't.
He's still roaming around causing trouble.
Billy was his own man. That son of a gun, he made booze in the field house and I didn't even know it.
He's still denying it.
I didn't know it. And then after the last game, he brings it all up.
Yeah, but it started with Dominic. What the hell was his name?
And then we had to go home and have Thanksgiving dinner and look back natural, right?
And then damn Billy, I said, Billy, what the hell you doing? I didn't know it. They pulled the password on me and I didn't even know it. Yeah, I couldn't get it. Reluctant. Got everything under control.
Oh, yeah, that's
You gotta go down there with you guys.
We got to do a little tighter than this.
Okay.
No, we're just a little bigger than we used to.
Can any of you guys go get on a knee? Can't get up. Who's going to get him up?
Yeah, that isn't the point. Who's going to get him up?
I'll get him. No.
They all can get on their knees, but...
Yeah, hey.
I'll go down on one.
This is good. Yeah, shit.
I get
One shot.
all right. You gotta get back up.
Okay. I mean, just I'm gonna go right where you are.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Had to.
That's right.
It's a witch.
Go.
All right, over here.
Can you guys can you just go down for just a second? There you go. All right.
Don't move.
Don't move.
Go ahead.
Come on, Mike, hurry up.
Can you guys look at me real quick. Look at me. No, okay, look at him. All right, look over here. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Another.
All right. How do we get it?
Nice.
All right.
Hey, Bush, you want me to help you out? Hey, you know, it's great to see you guys. You know what? But you know, I still think of all the players as when you had them in school. But you guys are now grandparents.
Oh, yeah. He's got 7, I got 2.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I still think of you as, well, you know what? You know, kids are guys, they're 70-some years old. Actually, you never know, my God.
Yeah.
You know, when Harry last said, hey, Harry, how old are you? He's 71.
Up there, you can download it.
You're 84?
83, but I'll be 84 in
November, right, yeah, right.
Time marches on, and
You're still coaching.
you know what? I got to keep active. I enjoy doing it, so why not?
Hey,
Why not do it?
you always have.
I
Email this to everybody coming here.
Well, we can check with Johanna and to find out. Maybe what we can do is even have a sheet for people's emails on the way out, and then that way we can send something out. So let me talk to Johanna about that.
That would be great.
Yeah, you can.
In fact, we stopped on the way down. The youngest one started.
So where are your kids now, Eric? Well, I just have a daughter. She's in Providence. She has 2 kids. She has a boy 7.
Inch goodness. Inch goodness.
You're always in my mind. And I do. You wonder why. You never forget. I never forget the kids that I coached. This is where I started.
Yeah.
And he gave me a pretty good start. And I never forget. Every once in a while I coach him down there. Hey, you don't realize I'm going to tell you a story. You know.
But maybe you don't realize that at our age, you made a lifelong impression.
Yeah, well, no, like I try to tell people, I got a letter from somebody in class as a teacher that wrote and said that you don't realize what you did for me and all that and so forth. I said, well, you know, when I teach and coach, I'm coaching and teaching a certain way.
I can remember
you understand?
I do.
And it wasn't the fact that I'm trying to save anybody. I think this is the way you coach things.
Yeah, because you know what? Because you live it. I remember you standing on a sled. Say, simple thing like standing on a sled.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you hit the sled lousy, you wouldn't budge and you'd get upset.
Yeah.
But if you tried to knock you off by getting the sled moving fast, how can we remember that, Coach? You know?
Well, you know why? It's become a very important part of your life.
It was.
And that's history, you're recalling. You know what people say, you know, why do you go to, you're recalling your life.
Yeah.
That's history. You've lived a hell of a life.
Yeah.
And it's a great life, and you've enjoyed it. And this is great that I come back and see the guys, and we all see each other.
Yeah.
And you remember your past, and it was a good past.
It was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Really was. Those were great years.
I remember all the time, you have to go to your father, and he'd come up with him and Tim and Stu husband drove us crazy.
Yeah.
Him and Stu would come over the house, and I said, oh, geez, here they come again.
But you never locked the door on them.
No. But it was a lot of fun. They were great people.
Yeah, they were.
They didn't like the single wing.
Stu,
They didn't? Is that right?
You know, your father and Stu would say, well, we're going to have a convention for the single wing in the toilet. All you have is a couple of guys doing the single wing, and they'd come in and talk. But you know, I got to the point where when your father talked and Stu talked, you thought they knew what the hell they were talking about. You know what I mean? But hanging around it long enough, they knew enough to
They learned a lot from you. But that's what you played in college, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is that how did you play unbalanced line too?
Yeah. And unbalanced line to this day has its advantages.
Yes.
You put the other team in a bind.
Because they don't know what to do. They don't see it enough.
And you can take advantage of the short side, the side where you only have two guys. Because they never play it right.
Yeah. That's where I was, on the side that they didn't play right.
Yeah. You were the left guard.
That's right.
And was Brooksy the right guard?
Yes, he was. Well, Shaughnessy was and Brooks.
That's right.
Paul was and Gary. Yeah. Gary's up in Portland. I think Portland now. You know, he retired. Yeah.
Did he go into ministry or what?
No. He taught. He taught college.
It's certainly a pleasure for me to be here today, and I have fond memories of my time spent in Westboro, particularly playing football under Coach Kojoyian. If I remember the years, it was his first coaching year was 1952 in Westboro to 1961, and we ran the single wing football formation. You're probably not familiar with it, but there wasn't a quarterback, and the ball went back to the fullback or the tailback, and everybody had to learn the basics with Coach Kojoyian, blocking and tackling. And I look at the things I do today, or did today until I retired. Everything was like blocking and tackling, the discipline. You had to have a plan and a program, and Coach Kojoyian always had that plan and program. Everybody had to block and tackle, and winning was most important. Unfortunately, Coach Kojoyian left Westboro and went to Newton, and was a successful coach at Newton High School, and spent I think 8 years there, and then he went and coached in Virginia until now, and guess what? He's still coaching. So this is his 60th year as a football coach, and he's just as good as he was then. When he coached me here at Westboro, he really taught us how to block and tackle, as I mentioned, and did the basics. And I can't think of a person that really has meant so much to me and my family, and had such an influence on us. And without further ado, Coach Kojoyian.
make one correction on that. Harry said 8 years in Newton. I spent 28 years in Newton. I was there in Newton. I taught science and also coached football and wrestling during that time. But I just had to correct that, and I really didn't want to start with that. But number one, I would like to thank both of my sons. The youngest one was my chauffeur up from Virginia, and the oldest one came down from New York. And Harry and Ronnie, that's the other Crump there over there, and behind him. And Harry came in from Rhode Island, and Ronnie came from Connecticut. And I would like to thank them for taking the time off to be here. And the next group I'd like to thank is, it's amazing the number of ball players that I coach that are here today. And then some of the stories they come up with, I said, I can't believe you. I didn't do those things to you. No, you did, Coach. But I tell you what, I enjoy coaching. I still do it. And as Harry said, this is my 60th year as a football coach. And I'm coaching in Virginia and still having a great time. And I might be doing some of the things that some of those former players of mine over here that I did with them. I haven't given up a lot of those things. I'm still doing some of those things. So it's great. I would like to also say that something about Westboro High School. Westboro High School, because I grew up in Westboro. We had a farm on Route 9, and so I went through the Westboro High School system. I played football here. I was on the state championship team. I think it's the only championship team that in football, that was in 1943. We won the state championship at that. In fact, it was against Shrewsbury. You're playing Shrewsbury today. And it all came down to one thing. Who won that game would be state champion. Well, we beat Shrewsbury, so we became state champions. But I noticed that after a while, though, I think Shrewsbury dropped us and then went into a league, but you're playing them again anyway. So you better beat them today or else. But I'd like to thank all those kids that have showed up that are here today for it, and also Westboro High School gave me my start in education, did a great job in preparing me for the game of life. And what did I do after I graduated from Westboro? Well, there was a draft on, and I was drafted, but I was deferred to finish high school, and you say, well, I didn't think I wanted to go in and dig foxholes and that, so I went and joined the Navy. And then I spent several years in the Navy. And then from the Navy, I went on to college and played ball. I got my degree, and I came back to Westboro. And then Westboro was good to me again. And I became a teacher in Westboro High School and also a football coach, and which I did here for 10 years. And on my 10th year, Newton offered me the opportunity to go there and be a football coach and science teacher, which I did. And then I was there for 28 years. And then from there, I moved on to Virginia, to live in Virginia. I had gone to undergraduate school in Virginia, and I liked Virginia. A lot of the people I went to school with were still there and that. And in fact, we still get together. In fact, the other morning, last week, I get a phone call from Barbara Johnson, and she said, what are you doing? Well, at that time, 5 of the guys, we played ball with her at my house. We get together once a month. We play cards. We play for a little money, And she said, what are you doing? They said, they heard me, we're playing cards while I'm talking to her. And I said, well, we get together once a month and play cards. So it's a great place to be in Virginia. Westboro was great to me. It prepared me for the game of life. And it's enabled me to go on and do what I wanted to do. I became a science teacher, I became a football coach, and I'm still coaching, and I hope I can continue on doing it, and I enjoy it. And again, I want to thank Westboro, and I want to thank all of you who are here today. Congratulate all the recipients for the awards. Good luck, and I use the expression, better days are coming. So good luck, everyone. Thanks a lot for being here.